Hey sisters. Oh, don't mind me. Just getting this ready. Alright, giving it some time for you all to go live. Putting on my little microphone. Trying to balance my phone now. How are you all today? We're having a little bit of trying to get this balancing. Oh gosh. All right, let me see if that will balance. Okay. Beautiful queens, how are you today? I hope you can hear me. Got my little microphone on today. Hi Shelley, welcome. Give it a sec for people to log on. So, it is December. We are in December already and the end of another year is upon us. Mental that has gone so fast. This month, to close the year, we are going to be focusing our energies on ending this year with love and appreciation by releasing our attachments to outcomes and our regrets and connecting with our future selves to manifest and bring into reality all that we deserve and desire. So this month is going to be an epic ending of 2021 and an even more profound beginning to 2022. This is also the last month that the Feminine Rising with Rikki is going to be a free offering. As of the 1st of January, it's becoming a paid online subscription membership so that we can talk about all the juicy things that we're not allowed to talk about on Facebook. The internet's a little bit funny today. We've got lots of rain. So yeah, as I was saying, 1st of January 2022, we are moving away from Facebook to a paid membership portal, but all of the content that is in this group is going to be there for you to watch forever. And I will still be interacting with you within this group as well. So you're not just going to be left high and dry. But this month is all about ending the year in a healthy way. Today's talk, which is week 1 of 4 for December, is about releasing our regrets and our attachments to our outcomes. So what does this mean? Letting go of people who lack morals, who engage in unethical behavior and don't share your values or ideals. Releasing the relationships maybe that no longer are serving you and truly understanding that we deserve and that we are worthy of more. We are cutting our losses because we are closing another chapter and beginning and opening up to a new cycle. We are continuing to move forward every year. This time of year, it can also encourage us to cut ourselves a bit of slack, show ourselves some more compassion, learn the lessons life has given us this year, really integrate them and put them into practice, and forgive ourselves, value, respect, and honor ourselves. Making peace with our past, excuse me, and seeing every experience that we've had this year as an invaluable contribution to who we are becoming and the process of who we are becoming. And to do our best to live a life with not so many regrets, right? So if you're wondering how to let go of regret, and maybe if that's even possible, trust me, you're not alone. I've been there. And especially after another year of, such loss and uncertainty and change, it is very tempting to look back at all the things that you have lived through and think maybe that could have been done a bit differently. So whether your regrets, things that you're holding on to, are large or they're small, little day-to-day interactions, figuring out how to learn from those and then letting go of regret is going to be so beneficial for us to introduce and open ourselves up to the next chapter of our life. I want to ask you, have you heard of the term counterfactual thinking? So this essentially means that we look back and concoct imaginary scenarios and we convince ourselves that things could have turned out better or ended better. So as an example, and I've lived this example many years ago. If you wish that you'd put more effort into your last relationship, regret might make you think that your actions alone could have fixed everything. Or you might come to, the crazy, wild conclusion that you'll never find anyone else ever again. And this might seem totally real in your mind and in your body, but it doesn't have to be. Our brains are really, really good at elaborating on or constructing these alternate worlds, right? In which we could have done things differently. We've all felt this. We've all been there. We know in our logical brain that we can't go back in time and change things. So why? Why do we dwell? Why do we hold on to such regrets? Regret focuses on what you could have done differently. And the truth is that you don't know, I don't know, we don't know that everything has maybe turned out better because of the decision we made. Whether it was good or bad or uncomfortable or, whatever. What if the things that we have lived through and the decisions that we've made were exactly how it was meant to be done? Right? The lessons that you learn, the boundaries that get established maybe. We can never know what the right decision was meant to be. But do we really even need to know? Being present, having presence is a profound ability. It is like a superpower. Every choice that we make leads us through a set of experiences and shapes who we get to become. And I know for myself, I would never change any of those shitty, uncomfortable, shameful experiences that I've lived through because they shaped all of my most important life lessons and led me to become the woman that I am now. So the feelings of regret are an indication that maybe you've got really high personal standards for how you live your life. But part of being human, I want to remind you, occasionally involves falling short of those expectations. And you must practice forgiving yourself. Don't beat yourself up. Don't be so hard on yourself. It takes a lot of our energy to live in these feelings of regret, feelings of shame, feelings of judgment. The energy that takes from you, saps from you, sucks from you. I guarantee you'd rather be putting that energy into your family, your relationships, your creative projects, bettering yourself. Yeah, I think you probably agree with that. So much like forgiving yourself might bring a little bit of peace, sometimes your regrets involve other people. So not just yourself. So when possible, I invite you, if it's appropriate, to maybe spend some time this month making amends, apologizing to yourself, yes, but if other people were involved and it is appropriate to do so, that can be very confronting. That's very hard. So I want to share with you 4 things that can help you if you are struggling to feel like you can release your regrets, your shames, and if you're struggling to let go of these things. So living in the present and not the past is number 1. We said this before. Living in the present and not the past. Remind yourself that letting go is a step-by-step process. It can be challenging, but trying to move forward while chaining yourself to a dead weight of the past is a lot harder. Be patient. with yourself and with others. Don't ignore your feelings, but try not to let yourself get hijacked by them either. They don't control you. You have the control over them. It's important to acknowledge the pain and then commit to your journey of moving forward. Number 2, endings are natural. When you see an ending heading your way, whether it's the end of a job, a relationship, or a way of life, resist the temptation to meet this ending with bitterness. Right? Hear that again. Resist the temptation to meet the ending with bitterness. Instead, know that for some reason, you need to turn off the road that you've been traveling on and take another route. There's no need to continually look back or hang your head as if you are being punished. Expect that your new adventure, your new chapter, your new life cycle, in its own time is going to reveal its rewards. The universe will give you signs, and when you listen and you trust, you will be rewarded. Number 3, create your new story. Claim your power to create the story that you want. Choose, because it is your choice to stop dwelling on the past and talking about the people who have maybe hurt you. You can also ask friends to stop bringing up those memories, or family members or housemates. Instead, we are focusing on the positive aspects of your life right now and all the wonderful things that you are looking forward to welcoming into your life, because you, my sister, are the creator of your existence. People can shape this, but you are in control. 4th is create a ritual of release. So this means taking a physical action to honor the ending and to end, and helping you to release it once and for all. So you can get creative and plan a ritual or an activity that allows you to express your feelings and that is personally meaningful to you. And let this ritual mark the passing of an old era in your life and the initiation into a new one. So we are going to be doing a releasing ritual this month. So over the next few weeks, you can start to play with and create your own ritual too. But something that you can do today, I can offer you today, is hold an object, like nothing of significant meaning to you because you don't want to lose it, but something that you can throw away, right? So it can be a rock, a pebble, a shell that you pick up on the beach, even like a stick or anything, and you hold it and visualize your feelings about that painful incident, whatever it is, that regret, that shame. Visualize those feelings being transferred into this object that you are holding, offering your energies into this item, and then you throw it away into the ocean, off a cliff, into the woods, not just into your backyard, like out of your sight, somewhere that you know it won't keep lingering. And you can do this as many times as you want. And you can do this with like heaps of things in your life. So you put it into that and you throw it away and you release it. You make it an actual ritual. You're not just going through the motions. You are understanding that this is something you are ready to let go of and you are ready to release. There's something that my dad does, and it's called the worry tree. And it has truly, truly helped him. And he got this practice from a psychosomatic therapist down the Gold Coast. So it's called the worry tree. So, at any time, you visualize a tree outside of your house, on your property or down the road, wherever it is, but it's not in your house. And if there are worries that just won't stop playing around in your mind, you take them and you hang them on the worry tree. This is all visualization. You take that thing that you've been worrying about, that you just know that worrying is not going to serve any purpose, and you visualize it, you pull it out of your mind and you hang it out there on the worry tree. And you do that before you come into the house, so that you know that you are not bringing in any of that negative energy, that sapping, draining energy into your home. And then you're not projecting it onto the people that you love the most and are spending most of your time with. So that's the worry tree. That's a great one. And I know for my dad, that one truly helps. Maybe you need something more physical and the throwing of an item is going to be what works for you. But, find what works for you. Create your own. Mix the two together if you like. Now let's talk about releasing attachments and our attachments to outcomes. I've done a lot of work around what attachment meant and means to me and what it looked and looks like in my life. I used to live in a way where my attachment to expectations and outcomes had a huge impact on how I interacted with the people in my life. So I want us to talk a little bit deeper on how our attachments can challenge us both personally and as individuals and also in our relationships. Attachment has been around forever. But what I'm seeing at the moment is that it's now being looked at in a spiritual way, as a spiritual concept. And for years, I thought attachment was just being connected to the things that I love and enjoy. It's like, of course, I want to be attached to the wonderful things in my life, right? Why wouldn't I want to be attached to my boyfriend, my favorite clothes, the job that I love? But when I started realizing that my attachments were causing my relationships harm, I was like, the way that my mind went was, is it even possible to be unattached to something? Like, I could not comprehend that scenario. The thing that helped my mind shift around understanding this was that for me, what I realized was attachments weren't just attachments to me. Attachments were my expectations and my unhealthy need to be in control. This was like the turning point. And so this concept made so much more sense in my mind. So we've formed a habit of creating a vision in our minds of how we want things to turn out, and sometimes even mapping out exactly how we want those outcomes to happen. So do you recognize here that we can be attached to not only what we want, but also the process? This kind of attachment can cause real pain and real frustration. And it's easy to create pictures and scenarios in your mind of what you want all kinds of things to look like. When your partner should call you, what you want to do on the weekend, the things you want to get done on your to-do list, maybe what the scale should say when you stand on it, what your bank account should be, what you think your friend should, or how your friend should respond to a request, etc., etc. These are some of the things that you might be wanting, and you're attaching yourself to them according to your plan, okay? So we can maybe realize here in this moment that living this way, and I know for me it did, leaves very little room for spontaneity, for relaxation, for fun. And I have lived there. I was so busy trying to make things happen the way I wanted them to happen, right? So that I was planning, strategizing, pushing myself and others so that I had control of how things turned out. And during this time in my life, I look back now in hindsight, I was so frustrated all the time. Never frustrated with myself, but I was frustrated with everyone else for not doing what I wanted, what I said, the way I wanted things to be. Holy crap. What a stressful time I was forcing myself to live in. And it wasn't until, and I always say this, it wasn't until my self-discovery journey began that I even realized what I was doing. So many shifts happen when we really sit in our own self-discovery. I was like, all right, relax, Ricky. What if you didn't have to have control over everything? Oh, how nice that would feel. So the next step was to begin relaxing my attachments and releasing my expectations. If I let the outcomes I was attached to become more of motivations, desires, or intentions. And I made it completely okay for these things not to happen, right? On my terms, the way that I want them to be, then I could relax and enjoy my life. My interactions were so much more enjoyable. My relationships were saved and became deeper and more loving and unconditional. And I know I was more enjoyable to be around because I wasn't trying to force people to do things my way. And this allowed space for more creativity and fun to show up in my life too. And this can happen with you as well. I began to find my alignment with my goals, in my desires. And in finding that alignment, so many opportunities then opened up for me. So consider taking a few moments each day this week to notice the outcomes, the goals, or the expectations that you are really attaching yourself to at the moment. And notice how these attachments are impacting you and the people around you. And you might contemplate what it would be like if it were totally okay for those things not to happen. Notice what happens in your body with and without those attachments. Like, I remember even just that thought, what if I didn't have to have control over everything? It was like, that weight had been lifted. But it's so funny. I was the one piling those weights on my shoulders, right? It is easier said than done. It takes a lot of time, but we are all here to keep bettering ourselves and learning more and more about ourselves. So how do we now go from the feelings of forcing and clinging to the feelings of peace and liberation and letting go? So I want to give you 3 steps to releasing your attachments to your outcomes. Step one is to have compassion for the part of you that is attached to the outcome, because the truth is that it's only a small part of you that is attached, not your entire being, although it may feel like that. It may seem like it's a really big part, but that's because you've probably been forcing a lot of your energy on, or either resisting it to try and get rid of it. Rather than trying to resist or get rid of it, give it the care and the love that it really needs. Because after all, it's attached to an outcome because it's scared. It needs your compassion more than anything. Seeing this part of you that is attached to an outcome as a small child and can help, right? And imagine that you're treating this child with kindness. Be comforting and reassuring. Allow it to soften as it feels soothed and supported. You might even realize that it just dissolves. That might be enough for you. That might be all it needs. So whenever this feeling of attachment, like it gets scared again in the future, because it will, we're only human, it's a roller coaster always, continue to provide it with compassion and care. This is a forever journey, we know this. And if this part feels overwhelming at times, try to remember that there are other parts of you that are much more patient and confident. This attachment is only a very small thing. There is a core part of you. You can call that your higher self, your divine self, your inner being. And this part of you knows that all is well. It is fully capable of providing your many other parts with compassion and soothing. So you can allow this core part of you to take the lead in your life and to comfort this part that is attached to the outcome. Step 2, keep all options on the table. Nothing is going to trigger attachment to an outcome more than the feeling of scarcity. So whether you're worried about running out of opportunities or time, scarcity is a fear-based mindset that can negatively affect your goals. So feelings of scarcity can lead to impulsive actions and unhealthy focus on things you don't have control over. So in order to release these feelings of scarcity, keep all options on the table. It's just like that age-old saying of, don't count your chickens before they hatch. I'm dribbling all over the place. So don't discard possible solutions too soon. And most importantly, don't fall head over heels in love to an outcome too early. Expectations lead to, disappointment. That's right. Expectations lead to disappointment because we set them up too high. It's okay to fantasize about your life and how it will look once you obtain a goal. Manifesting is important. It is hugely important. But try to stay open to unexpected opportunities that might arise and try not to idealize or force any particular solution. When we're too attached to an outcome, we tend to fixate on or only, accept and expect one solution. But allowing ourselves to be open to new information, ideas, opportunities can lead us sometimes to an even better outcome. It's like, why would you want to limit yourself? And step 3, ask for more. It may sound counterintuitive to ask for more when you're concerned about manifesting just one thing, but this is something in my research I've been looking into recently because I'm about to go and, have a huge investment, put money down, do this training to achieve an outcome, to achieve a goal, right? But to allow yourself to ask for more and to visualize more is a really effective strategy. And this is what it looks like, okay? So if you want to have a new job, you picture yourself receiving 3 amazing job offers so that you get to choose. If you're looking for a new physical, romantic, emotional partner, imagine yourself having 2 incredible people show up in your life who just are so interested in you. If you want to have a baby, imagine taking care of a toddler or a baby or 2 babies. If you want to buy your dream house, picture yourself with a dream house and a holiday home. So the only word of caution here is that if you are imagining more, you need to be ready for the possibility of maybe having multiple manifestations happen at the same time. I know, it's so hard. But it might just happen exactly how you imagine it. Our minds like to have problems to work on, and they'll happily work on whatever problems we give them. If your mind is focused on solving the problem of trying to come up with just one variable option, it's going to work under the premise that there is one and it's difficult for you. If your mind is focused on solving the problem of choosing between 2 incredible opportunities and managing multiple good options, then it's going to assume that the task is easy for you and it's going to redirect the efforts into something that is much more useful. Getting really creative. Getting really creative is going to be so useful in your manifestation. It's going to be less fear-based in your body and more opportunity-based. So within this, you will find a new level of confidence that is likely to be like a magnet to these new opportunities for you. So I love this chat because this is so relevant for what I am doing in this month also with myself, closing 2021 with true understanding of what I'm ready to let go of, what I'm ready to detach from and release, and to really move into 2022 from a clean slate and a foundation that is set on me knowing what I'm worth and what I deserve. So to close today's talk, we are releasing regrets and attachments so that we can enter 2022 with deep openness, ready to receive and welcome in all of our desires. Remember, a compassionate approach is so vital for you and moving forward in any of these journeys together. Compassion helps us to take a breath, to open up, to release that tight grip on trying to control when and how our goals manifest, and release living in the pains of our past, living in those regrets. The key is gentle but persistent nurturing. So that's how we release our regrets and our attachments, by making ourselves feel safe enough to release them. Trust the universe. It has your back. Trust your sisterhood. We've got your back. And trust yourself because you have your back. Remember, your core, your inner being, your higher self has always got your back. And I would love you to share in the comments anything that came up for you today, anything that came to the surface. What are you ready to release this month before we begin the next year together? What regrets are you tired of living with? It's time to enter our new chapters from a place of surrender. Surrender, surrender. So I'm really, really excited to keep journeying with you this month on really ending this year from a place of celebrating, of releasing, of calling in some new incredible things. So next week we are doing a ritual practice where we're all going to have pen and paper, and we are going to be writing down to ourselves. It's not going to be shared with anyone, so you can be completely honest. Writing down all of our celebrations for this year, all of the struggles we've had, the things that we've come out of on the other side, the moments we really pushed ourselves out of our comfort zone, exceeded our own expectations, the good and the bad, so that we can really see this year what we have achieved. And if there's stuff in there that you don't like, it's time to let go of it. So thank you, my sisters, for joining me for week 1 of our December closing ceremony for the year. I'm really looking forward to seeing your answers in the comments here. And if you're watching the replay, #replay. I love you all so much. There's a lot of information there to mull over, so I hope you can process and integrate over the next 7 days, and we'll come back again next Wednesday to do our writing ritual. Love you all so much. Talk soon. Whoopsies.